Hi, guys. We're back. It's Fred and Sheila with Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures and Fred and Sheila Investigates. This is a continuance from video number 4 on our Buford Pusser series. So, this is number 5, and we're going to be talking about the ambush, as you can see in the background of our picture there. That is the passenger's side door, I do believe.
That's correct. Looking at my glasses, guys. Sometimes I'll go back and review a video after it's already live, and my glasses are cockeyed or my hat's crooked. It looks like I've been on a. We're going to finish talking about the Buford Pusser and Pauline Pusser ambush, guys.
Yeah.
This is number 5, like she said. In one of those videos that we watched on the news, they interviewed several people, some pro Buford and some not.
Right.
One guy says he was sitting there in this guy's bus. He was on the bus tour. Bus tour means that Buford had killed his wife. That's what that is. And that Buford's law enforcement career went both ways.
Yeah, he
according to this guy.
Walked on both sides.
Walked on both sides. Thank you, babe.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no proof that we've ever seen that he was on the other side. If there's proof, we'd like to see it.
Right.
So we could quit taking up for him on that part. But there's no proof to that we've seen. There was a guy sitting there in the bus, heavy set fella, and he says, Buford was evil. And said he took some of his family to jail and had dealings with his family over the years because they were in business. Well, his last name was Hathcock. Hathcock. That name rings a bell to me because Carlos, I think his name's Carlos Hathcock, was the Marine sniper that used to hold the record for years and years and years for the farthest fight or the farthest shot or the most people killed by a Marine Corps sniper. Hathcock, I think, was his name. But this guy's name was Hathcock, and he's talking about his family members, and we're just curious. We don't know this, and we're speculating or opinionated or legend. We don't even know. But he says his name was Hathcock, and Louise Hathcock.
Yeah,
anybody that's familiar with Buford Pusser? Yeah, Louise Hathcock. He owned one of the nightclubs on the county line there.
Shamrock?
Is that what it was? I don't remember.
Shamrock, called the Shamrock.
Great, babe.
Shamrock.
She owned a nightclub there. You're going to hear stories about her in a minute, but her name was Louise Hathcock, and she had killed her husband earlier on in life, I imagine. Got away with it. Beat a sailor. This is what we see on the internet, guys. We don't go out and do no big research on this. Again, we could be wrong. We speculate.
Pusser said that.
Who?
Buford Pusser said
that. That was in Buford's. He was 17 years old when he saw her beating a sailor with a hammer.
Ball peen
hammer is what Buford says. Buford was justified in killing her, and he was cleared. So what evil is this guy talking about? It went on that Buford Pusser had to go to a call along with a couple of deputies at her nightclub, at her casino, at her hotel, whatever she had there. By the time Sheila and I come back, we'll know because we're going down there.
Right.
But Buford had to go on a complaint there, and one of the deputies said that he told Buford, using language and different things, and said she'd been drinking, wanted to see him in her apartment, and when he come over there, she pulled a gun and told me he's going to kill him, and Buford shot her 3 times, I believe. Justified. Buford killed her because she shot. In fact, there was a round went through the wall and through the window or something out and hit a pole. If the hotel's still there, they say you can still see it.
Cool.
So we may get a a shot of that.
She was given the title Queen of the Mafia there on the line.
Did you put her in our last video?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. You
Mm-hmm.
may put her right here.
I can add that in here too, where she was named Queen of the Mafia there
Yeah.
on the line or something.
She was. There was a lot of them guys that was involved at that time. Now you got to understand that everybody was doing anything they wanted to do until Buford Pusser became the sheriff. And once Buford Pusser became the sheriff, he put a stop to it. Moonshine steals, he put a stop to the gambling, the prostitution. He put a stop. He was go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Go somewhere else. Not going to happen here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that's your livelihood, if that's how you're making your money, and you know you can do it, well, you've done it for years and nobody said nothing to you. All of a sudden, somebody's there trying to stop you. You're going to fight for that. And sorry, I don't know if y'all can hear my phone ringing there or not, but getting an indictment and a conviction is two different things. That's just a note I put there because uh, of the things that was said by Mr. Davison that he could get an indictment. That's two different things: an indictment and a prosecution, a verdict, guilty verdict. Had Pauline's nose really been broke previously? You know, that's a question somebody had asked. Had it really been broken previously, or is that just something that they're saying in order to build a narrative, in order to build up a case that fits their narrative?
Right.
We don't know. We don't know. That was just a question, and we went ahead and put it on here. And if the nose was broke, was it confirmed by an independent ME or pathologist? We don't know, guys. We can't answer that for you. Maybe Mr. Davison can, or the TBI. That's a good question, though. We'd like to know if there was an independent.
That's an excellent question. Yeah.
Yeah. Was Buford's car tampered with? We're all over the place. We just make notes, or when people sends us a question, we put it up so we can answer your questions the best that we know how. Was Buford's car tampered with? We don't know that.
This was the one that he was driving in
Corvette.
when he was deceased.
When he got killed.
Right.
We don't know.
Some people have said it was.
Some people said the steering, tie rod, brakes were cut, the brake lines, the lug nuts was taken off. We don't know.
Right.
Or did he set up his own car wreck like he did shooting himself 3 times? That was somebody else's question. That's for the prosecutor, I imagine. Did Buford crash his own car just to act like, and this time he didn't make it? Shot himself 3 times before, but this time he just didn't make it through. We don't know, guys.
No.
Is the TBI going to reopen Buford's death investigation? We don't know. That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Great question. They should, if they're fair, since they've got all this time to spend on Pauline and track hers down. You would think that Buford didn't have an autopsy neither. Since we're giving out free autopsies, might as well dig him up and give him one. That'd be good for some TV shots. I feel you. Watch her. By the time she need me, she went. When you hear her doing that, guys, that's clearing her throat.
Clearing my throat, I'm trying to give him a signal.
And I get it, and I appreciate it. I'm appreciative to her because Sheila keeps me sometimes from putting my foot in my mouth or going too far down a path that I'll probably go because I am outspoken. Are they going to give Buford's autopsy and dig him up? That press conference and those allegations turns a man's reputation into nothing but slander without any solid proof that would get a conviction from a jury. Some of these people on our pages are attorneys and police officers that read this. That's somebody else's comment. Some of the allegations that were made at the press conference destroyed and slandered that man's reputation that he had worked for without any solid proof that they would ever get a conviction from a jury. Again, a conviction and an indictment are two different things. It takes nothing for an indictment. Not an indictment, but a guilty verdict. That's what they just said. since we did, since when did we in America, and especially even Tennessee, start assuming that getting an indictment is enough to destroy a man's reputation, especially when he's dead and can't defend him? We don't do that in America. I don't know what's different in Tennessee, how they can. I see where they're getting sued left and right in Tennessee for arresting sober people and charging them for DUI. Sober people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blood alcohol comes back zero. Blood alcohol comes back zero for alcohol, comes back zero for drugs, and they're taken to jail for DUI.
And how many?
How sad is that? 600 or 900 or whatever it was, it's way up there.
Yeah.
One trooper got 8. I did see that, but
A
they're
lot.
getting sued left and right over it now. But,
That's not good.
you know, it's bad enough we take them to jail for DUI when they're not drinking or drugging.
Mhm.
Same difference here. We're
Yeah.
accusing somebody of doing something with no more proof than they do when they give them a field sobriety test. And autopsies on Pauline say multiple gunshots. Since when do husbands shoot wives multiple times? You know, a lot of women shoot their husband. When a woman gets mad, she gets
Anger.
mad.
Mhm.
And anger, she'll shoot her husband several times. I'm not saying this in every case or even in the men's case. Nothing's the same, but
Right. Every
talking
situation.
personal experiences, and probably if you'll do the research, but the men, if a man shoots his wife, it's usually one time. A woman shoots her husband, she shoots him multiple times. She's mad.
You want to make sure.
The autopsy, and you're going to find that very interesting, guys, when we get to the autopsy, and it's coming. Autopsy is very telling. Autopsy says multiple gunshots, possible multiple gunshots. I have seen it all. Women do men. Buford's statement just went through a hectic event. Memory, who knows? Somebody said, well, his statements is inconsistent with what happened. His stories is inconsistent. Inconsistent.
The man's traumatized.
Maybe blacked out, traumatized. Wife's dead, been shot at, almost killed, his face is blown off. Guys, any of you out there that believes that a man will shoot himself in the face, please show me one other case in history. Not suicide, not somebody that committed suicide. Somebody wanting to cover up something, and that instead of shooting herself in the arm or the leg or the toe or the finger or the gut, shoots himself in the face.
Yeah, no, that to me, that's unreal.
Please put that in the comments, because that's what these people is trying to sell you. They're selling you that. Buford, we think it was set up. We think it was staged. Boys, I'll tell you, I might stage something, but I ain't gonna shoot myself in the face.
Once, much less 3 times. I don't know how they.
Doctor says 2, at least 2 times, and maybe 3.
Possibly 3, yeah.
That's what the doctor said. It's in the report. Should be. It's in all over the newspaper at that time. Hectic event, but don't make them a murderer. It don't make them a murderer, guys, just because his stories ain't corresponding. Again, they said a while ago, one of the stories on the last video we said that he said that his wife was shot in the forehead. Imagine looking over and you just glance over for a minute, maybe gonna put her on the floor or do something.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you see half of her brains come out her forehead. Would you think in your mind, and then you're shot? But could you mistake that for a shot to the forehead rather than a shot from the rear and it's coming out the forehead?
Well, by the time he looked at her, her head might have went forward and then come back.
Well, look at it. That's
yeah, that's.
Is that her door?
I think that's her door. I do believe that's her door. I think that's the passenger
That's
side.
showing up different.
Yeah,
that's showing up.
It'll be flipped when we see it.
Okay.
It'll be
because it's looking like this is his door.
driver's side. No,
But that's a
I'm pretty
passenger.
sure
It is. It's a passenger side door.
I'll put it in at
Picture
the end
two.
of the video so they can see that it's.
So even though it looks like it may be a driver's side door,
It's
or
flipped
it does
here.
to us,
Right?
it may look right to you guys.
Right. It'll be flipped.
Yeah.
It's just mirrored right now, and
That's her door, guys. That's her head right here. That's her head right there. That clear spot. That's where her head hit, and then the rest of it just falls off.
It's sad.
But yet they say she was shot on the hood of the car and put in the car. We don't think that's her blood on the hood of that car. We think that's Buford's blood where he run around the car trying to get to her and half of his face hanging off, slinging blood everywhere. Don't make him a murderer, whether his stories are inconsistent or not. Don't make him a murderer. May have a bad memory, may have been shocked, may be traumatized, may have PTSD. Don't make him a murderer. Blood on the hood could be Buford's, running around the car with the jaw hanging. TBI and Mr. Davison says he had friends in high places. There's been people that said Buford, they didn't do an autopsy on Pauline because Buford had friends in high places. Well, they didn't do an autopsy on Buford neither.
So why?
But if Buford had friends in high places, I'm just been devil's advocate, guys. They're saying this. They've said that Buford had all these friends and he could have got anything done. Daggone. If he had friends and could have got anything done, why the heck did he shoot himself in the face?
Shoo.
Why did he do that? As a cover up. Why would a man shoot himself in the face if he said, hey, Doc, can you cover for me here? Hey, coroner, local funeral director, can you cover for me? Hey, I need a favor. You don't shoot yourself in the face if you've got that kind of friends and that kind of connection.
Good point.
According to Buford Pusser, his phone rang before dawn on the morning of August the 12th. Let's just read the report. Let's read the story.
Okay.
1967.
Okay.
He got a call informing him of a disturbance on New Hope Road in McNairy County. Pusser responded, and his wife, Pauline, rode with him. Nothing peculiar about that. They used to call me at the house. I used to say, when the public calls, I am not slow. It's hip, 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 and away I go. I'd be out of that house within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Kept my shoes. I was like I was a firefighter at the same time too, but I kept my shoes, pants, uniform, gun belt. When they called, I was out of that house and on my way because when they needed something, they needed it now. And I got there fast. Same way with Sheila. If Sheila was going with me, she better be ready to go because I'll be leaving without her.
Yep.
So that's not unusual to get a call at your house when you're the policeman or the sheriff or the police chief I was in a little small town. And they called me because I lived right there in the city. They called me before the sheriff's office, state police, or anybody because I'm right there at them. Shortly after they passed the New Hope Methodist Church, a car came alongside theirs and the occupants opened fire, killing Pauline and leaving Pusser for dead. I need to write that Pusser. I guess the way I got it spelled there. Doctors said he was struck on his left side of his jaw by at least 2, maybe 3 rounds from a 30 caliber carbine. Spent 18 days in the hospital before returning home, would need several more surgeries to restore his appearance. Dispute he vowed that he would someday get his wife's murders. He vowed that he would do it. Later on, he named them. One of them was Kirksey Nix. Thank you, babe. Nix was sentenced to Louisiana State Prison in Angola for the Easter Saturday, 1971 murder of New Orleans grocer Frank Corso. He never got Nix because Nix went to prison 67, 68, 69, 70, 70, 3.5, 4 years later. This same guy that he said was involved with killing his wife was sent to the penitentiary for killing a grocery store owner, Frank Corso. Nix was later involved in the 1987 murder for hire of Judge Vincent Sherry and his wife, Margaret, in Biloxi, Mississippi. Go figure. Go figure. Tried to kill Buford.
Buford.
Did kill his wife. A person's past always often predicts their future. 1987, this guy actually killed, murder for hire, Vincent Sherry and his wife, Margaret.
And in 71, he killed the grocer. Right?
Yeah, but this is 87.
Yeah.
Now, murder for hire, if I'm not mistaken, he done this from prison. He hired them to kill the judge and Vincent.
Okay, that's why I'm going to say, how did he do that if he was in prison?
Yeah, I think he still, we'll see. His co-conspirator, Biloxi Mayor Pete Haylett, had stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars from Nix and blamed it on his law partner, Judge Sherry.
Whoa.
Nix ordered a hit from prison and was later sentenced to isolation for the rest of his life.
Wow.
He was getting stuff done. You think this wasn't a bad group that Buford Pusser was fooling with guys back in that day?
Wow.
You think this wasn't some mean hombres? They're ordering hits from prison on judges and their wives, and they're actually happening. Nix has repeatedly refused to comment about Buford Pusser's claim that he was one of Pauline's killers. Why would he refuse to comment? Why would he not say, I didn't do it? I don't know nothing about it. Don't blame me. I just killed those other people. Why would he deny it?
Was it a hit? Maybe?
I think he was with them at the time. This was 1967. The first time he was convicted of murder was 1971, 3 years later. So I think in 67, he done it. He got away with it. 71, it didn't mean nothing to him. He'll try it again. He refused to answer. Anytime anybody would ask him if he had anything to do with Pauline's death, he wouldn't answer him. He wouldn't deny it or confirm it. They were driving 1967 Plymouth Ferry. Plymouth Ferry was a bad car. Buford Pusser died in 1974 at age 36 years old. He tells the Tennessean newspaper 2 years later in 1969, him and his wife were discussing a vacation. We were planning to take off to Florida the next day. Getting into the car together that night, that's not the case. Attorney General Mark Davison told AL.com. Getting into the car together, and that's not the case. That's extremely unusual to have your wife in the car at 2 o'clock in the morning, not to mention dangerous. Of course it is. Of course it is. Mark, are you a prosecutor or are you a sheriff? I feel you. I'm asking a question. I'm not being facetious. I'm sorry. I'm playing devil's advocate. Is Mr. Davison a prosecutor that stays at home and works at the office all day and works in a courtroom or grand jury rooms? Or is he a police officer that goes out on calls and answers calls for assistance or calls for help? Because he knows nothing about what a sheriff or a chief of police does when he gets a call at home or he's bored and he says, hey, honey, you want to go ride with me? And she says, yeah, we'll go get something to eat.
Yeah.
We'll patrol.
Yeah.
Go on some calls. So that's not, Mr. Davison says, that's extremely unusual to have your wife in the car at 2 o'clock in the morning, not to mention dangerous. It is unusual and it is dangerous, but it does happen. It does happen. Police officers out there, any of you that's ever taken your wife with you, if you don't have a policy against it, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Show these people. Show Mr. Davison. It happens.
Sure
we do that. Unless we're not the sheriff or we're not in administrative and somebody says, oh, it's against policy. You can't ride your family members with you. Okay.
Then, yeah.
I'd take our children to school.
Yeah, and drop them off.
I'd pick them up from school in a cruiser, pick them up, drop them off in a cruiser, pick them up. Is that dangerous? Yeah, I'm liable to get a call, liable to get sniped, well, anything. But it happens, you do it. Is that what Mr. Davison, is that what he's ruling is that his analogy? Is that his evidence? Well, he had his wife in the car at 2 o'clock in the morning. Nobody does that. He took her out there to kill her. Really? No, not. Not if you're the sheriff or the chief and you make the rules.
Mhm.
He's going to a disturbance, or so he says. That's Mr. Davison. He says that Buford Pusser told him he was going to a disturbance. He was answering a call. So he says. Guys, I don't know Mr. Davison. He don't know me.
That's exactly right.
We got some hatred for Mr. Buford Pusser, in my opinion. In my opinion. I don't know if it's direct.
Personal.
I don't know if it's from an ancestor. I don't know if it's from a friend or a family. I don't. You can tell from the interviews. We've got our windows up, guys. It's a good fall day. We turn the air conditioner off, open the windows up. Watch that electric bill.
Yeah.
That weapon is believed to have been a 30 caliber carbine rifle.
Mhm.
That's what he says. But Davison says physical evidence shows it was likely
Likely.
used by Buford to shoot Pauline outside the vehicle. Guys, there's bullet holes all around that car, both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Buford killed his wife, had time to run up down the road throwing casings out,
Planting
shoot
evidence.
bullets, planting evidence, shooting bullets into the car,
Then shooting himself.
and then shoot himself. I've never seen. I want to call it something, but I won't. I called it that in the first video, and I wish I'd taken it out. But
Sorry.
this is what physical evidence that it's a 30 caliber M1. And then there it is. Sheila done said it earlier or in the last video.
It did in the last one, yeah.
Go ahead.
That there was 6.2 million
Carbines.
M1 carabines.
Carbines.
Carbines. Sorry,
That's
I
okay.
said the same thing
Were
he did.
manufactured for the U.S. military during World War II by 10 primary contractors, with the Inland Manufacturing Division being the largest producer. The production run, which spanned from 1941 to 1945, made it the most produced American weapon of the war.
Of the war. Wow.
6.2 million.
That's a lot.
Some guy recovered a stolen M1, which is not uncommon. They still stole those things then. They still steal them from what was it in Lincoln County several years ago? The guys that do the funeral detail with the VFW.
Mm-hmm.
They stole 6 of them, I believe it was, from the VFW.
Military guard or
I don't think they ever funeral detail.
There you go.
I don't think they ever recovered them. So they still get stolen. So somebody turned in a stolen. Now I heard this bus driver, this guy that gives the tours,
Right.
that writes the books, that evidently is running this investigation for the TBI. I think he's the one that's behind the, I feel you. But that's what it looks like, babe.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody else, I'm not the only one who feels that way or thinks that way.
Okay.
I think the TBI really hurt herself on this. I think they really did. They've let a civilian go out here. I don't care if he had former law enforcement as a local police or local sheriff. That's no different than me. Who are we?
Okay. Now you said the gun was stolen, and so this guy had it, but he said it belonged to Buford Pusser.
So they come up with this gun that had been stolen,
Mm-hmm.
and this author says on one of the videos or newscasts, he talks to somebody, and he says that so this guy makes a comment on the news, and he said, well, they gave the gun to the FBI or to the TBI.
Okay.
And they kept the gun all this time. And they know that if the gun didn't have some relevance to the Buford Pusser and Pauline case, the gun would have been returned by now. And if you're of no knowledge, you would think that's true. Must have had a hit on it. Must have compared with the rifling. Must be the gun that shot Pauline. Doesn't prove Buford done it, but it must be the gun because he said, and him being a former law enforcement, you take him for his word, and he tells the camera crew there, the news people, he said, had that gun not been involved with the Buford Pusser case, they would have returned it to the guy from Arkansas or Kansas, wherever he's from. They would have returned it to him. Really? Would they? How many of you's ever run across something stolen
That's what I'm.
and then the police take it and they say, okay, you can have it. It's stolen from the United States military, but we're going to give the gun, we're going to give this stolen gun back to you. If you believe that, we got some
It's
ocean
not their
front.
property to begin with, then
No,
if it's
stolen.
stolen, so it has to be returned back
So,
to the rightful owners.
well, that would be the government.
Right,
It's not going to be returned to this guy that's in possession. In fact,
exactly.
this guy that's
Just
in
lost it.
possession of a stolen military gun, M1, TBI,
Mhm.
Mr. Davison, Mr. Prosecutor,
Check it out.
and even the law enforcement officer that wrote the book and drives the bus. These guys have knowledge of a man that was in possession of a stolen military M1 rifle.
How did he get it?
Well, he's in possession of it, in possession of stolen property. The man should be charged by the TBI.
Mhm.
A warrant should be issued, and he should be held criminally liable for him having that gun and him knowing that he's in possession of a stolen M1 because they told the story of where when they were switching over from M1s in the Air Force to M14s that somebody had stolen like 3 M1 rifles, and that was one of them. Now, when did this guy know about it? How did he know about it? How did it come about? Why hasn't he been charged criminally? Now, Buford Pusser is dead. He can't be charged, whether he had anything to do with it or not. But guess who can be? TBI and Mr. Mark Davison. Since we're wanting justice, you know, they talk about wanting justice. We want to do the right thing. Okay. Right thing is to go to Arkansas or Kansas,
Charge this man.
charge that man and charge this sheriff because this former sheriff or whatever he was in law enforcement, deputy sheriff or sheriff, he also knew about it. He knew about it. He's the one that took the information to them. How long did he know about it? He said he went to the TBI with the other gentleman's permission. Really? You're a law enforcement officer. You've got evidence of a stolen military rifle, and you've got to have the perpetrator's permission before you'll go report them. Or I've been on the phone as soon as I knew about it, reporting. It's not right. Something's wrong there.
Doesn't add up.
Because Davison says the tests are inconclusive. Well, he says that the tests were inconclusive on that 30 caliber rifle. Inconclusive. Okay, everything's likely, unlikely, possible, possibly not. I believe
More than
now,
likely.
now, more than likely, now this test is inconclusive. If it's inconclusive, it means zilt. You don't prosecute somebody for inconclusive evidence. You don't blame somebody for inconclusive evidence. You don't destroy somebody's reputation for inconclusive evidence. Though Davison said, listen to this, though they cannot, underlined, say conclusively it was the murder weapon, Davison says it was consistent with the weapon that killed Pauline. Holy smoke. Hey, listen to that. Even though they cannot say that conclusively that this is the murder weapon, Davison said it's consistent with the weapon that killed Pauline. So, go ahead, babe.
That that
So was 6.2 million other M1 carbine rifles. What a crock. I'm sorry, but this is a crock of doo doo. Once upon a time, I would have used another word, but I'll use doo doo. This is a crock, guys. Listen to this lawyer. This is a I know.
just
I know, but This is a prosecutor. This is an attorney
Mm.
standing there while they cannot say conclusively,
Cannot.
cannot say conclusively it was the murder weapon. Davison said it is consistent with the weapon that killed Pauline. What killed Pauline, guys? A 30 caliber M1 rifle, or at least a 30 caliber round.
Okay.
We don't know if it was shot from an M1 or not. A 30 caliber round. 6.2 million of them made.
Mm.
Even though he can't say conclusively, it was consistent with the weapon that was used. Well, there's 6 million and so many hundreds of thousands and all this and that. Get into my math ability. It's
So
about as good as my spelling.
it's kind of like saying they're supposed to was
Sheila,
killed with
it's
a
a smoke.
Glock, and there's like
Yeah,
how many different kinds of
yeah.
Glocks?
Can you imagine going out here tonight and arresting somebody and saying, well, you shot somebody with a Glock because you had a Glock? You must have been the one done it.
Right.
It's
That's
smoke screen, guys. I'm sorry to say. This is my opinion. I hate to even say it's my opinion. I hate to say it's hypothetical. I hate to say it's speculation. Because the man says it right there.
yeah.
This is off his statement with quotation marks. It is consistent with the gun that killed her. It's not consistent with the gun.
They can't say it was the weapon.
Davison said it was consistent with the weapon
Mhm.
that killed Pauline. The weapon or the caliber of weapon? Because it was a 30 caliber, but not the weapon. We don't know if it was shot from a Tommy gun or whatever else they had that would shoot a 30 caliber at that time. We'll probably do some research and either put it in right here or at the end of the video.
Okay.
What other guns? What other guns back in the 60s shot a 30 caliber round? I see you. Go ahead. There's my researcher.
I'll look it up, guys.
There's my researcher. We'll probably tell you before this video's over, but what other guns during the 60s shot a 30 caliber round? Was it just the M1? I don't know, but we'll find out for you. This appears to be a domestic violence homicide rather than this notation that they were ambushed in the middle of the night. Mr. Davison, quotation marks. This appears to be a domestic violence homicide. Appears. This appears. Guys, when do we convict people on something? The appearance of something. We can't convict people on the appearance of something rather than the notion that it was an ambush in the middle of the night. But hold on, it gets in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere in 1967 with no streetlights, Davison said. Now, guys, you can tell Mr. Davison is not a police officer, never been a police officer, and you can tell that who's helping him here, if anybody, they've not worked the road or investigated a lot, because what better place for an ambush than rural country road? It's not like the bad guy would say, let's go down on Main Street. Let's call Buford down here to Main Street where we got all kinds of street lights and we can see better so we can open fire on them. Would you rather do it down on Main Street where there might be some witnesses or other traffic? Or would you rather do it out on a dark country road, secluded? Well, you got, Punk.
Well, it says here's beyond the well-known M1. Many other firearms fired a 30 caliber ammunition during the 1960s. These include a variety of military surplus weapons still in circulation, popular hunting rifles, and some handguns. The most common were the 30 caliber cartridges, were the 30 to 06 Springfield, the Winchester, and then what is that? NATO?
Winchesters, 30 carbine.
Yeah.
All right. So there was other guns. So where he says up there, it was comparison to the weapon. He can't compare it to the weapon because there were other guns that shot the 30 caliber round.
Right.
So he could have compared it and said to the caliber of round. Guys, let's see what he says here. Davison said, the sheriff, they believe, underline, the sheriff, they talking about Buford Pusser, they believe placed Pauline's body inside the car and staged his own injury. Davison said, I'm not going to beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
Since when did we put people in prison on what we believe without evidence? Since when did we destroy a man's reputation and slander his name because They believe who he doesn't even want to say him. He puts it. They believe. Who is it? They ballistics, autopsy, TBI. Uh, who's some other people that they've had involved in this investigation that's got their names on that report. See, he's trying to pass the buck. The buck don't stop here. This is where we pass the buck to somebody else. They believe Pauline's body was placed inside the car. Why would he shoot her outside the car and put her inside the car? Guys, did you look? You don't have to look. There it is.
Door, yeah.
There it is, guys. I guess her head must have hit the door when he put her back in there. I guess that. They believe. Wow. Don't care what they believe. Where is the evidence that allows you to slander this man and his reputation?
I agree with that.
I only hope nobody ever does these people like that. I only hope that when they're dead and gone, somebody doesn't show them the same disrespect that they showed Buford Pusser. Our theory. This is Mr. Davison. Our theory. This is a lawyer, an attorney. This is a prosecutor for the state of Tennessee.
Okay.
Our theory is he put a pistol inside his cheek and pulled the trigger and created a flesh wound, Davison said.
No,
you'd
have more damage on the inside than he did the outside, or saying, from that gas explosion, like we said in the other one, it would be more. That would be. I don't buy that. Sorry.
Look at the entrance. All you police officers out there, all you detectives. How did that round go in? Did that round go in this direction? Did that round go here? Guys, they would be. You see that cheek up here on him that we're looking for powder a while ago? That would not be there. Like Sheila says, the gases. Put the pistol inside his cheek. He's got a .357 Magnum pistol is what he carried. He put the pistol inside of his cheek and pulled that trigger. Guys, the .357 Magnum would have blown his head off.
He would have had
it would have killed him.
Restriction.
The gases that went up his nose and into his brain, it would have blown, the gases alone would have blown his head completely off. If I'm wrong, please, I'm sure there's medical examiners and people's going to show this. Prove us wrong.
Yeah.
Sheila, the other day we was talking about this, and Sheila said, what about the gases? Right off the bat.
Yeah.
What about the gases? Put the gun inside of his mouth.
That doesn't add up.
Besides that, the rounds coming in, guys. Yeah. Small coming in, big going out.
You can see the little lines on his face where.
Since when do we convict people on theories rather than evidence or eyewitnesses? I cannot believe. I don't want to make a personal attack, but
there you go.
That's prosecutor. I had to get that up. Besides, Dr. Peely stated it was a .30 caliber that got Buford. Also explained that Davison said photos of the injuries are in the case file. Mr. Davison says there's photos of the injuries in the case file.
Okay.
Dr. Peely, which was Buford Pusser's doctor, says he was shot 2 to 3 times with a .30 caliber in the face. Davison says the photos are in, and the injuries are in the case file. Photos? Where's that car at? We don't need photos. 58 years later. Where's the car at?
Yeah.
If you're going to open a case, if you're going to reopen a case, if you're going to study a case, at least I have all the evidence. At least have all the evidence. I just shot Sheila, and I threw the gun down the commode. And gun's gone, so there's no gun. There's no evidence. But somebody's going to come in there 58 years later, and there's no car. There's no gun that matches up, because he done said it's inconclusive, but it's one of the 6 million. It could be one of those 6 million guns. Where's the physical evidence, such as the car Where's the blood sample on the hood? Was it Buford's blood?
Hmm.
Was it Buford's blood on the hood of that car? See, we didn't have DNA back then. Did they?
Okay.
Did they even take a sample and put it anywhere so we could do DNA now? Again, guys, the only practical explanation is when he got out of that car, he's slinging blood. He's trying to get to his wife. He's in shock, which in a rare move will soon be made public. Mr. Davison said the photos are in that case file, which in a rare move will soon be made public. A rare move. Why is it a rare move? All parties are deceased, and they think it's rare to release the case files. Hogwash. It's a rare move, but we're going to go ahead and release the. You better. I guarantee you get sued if you don't. You better have a whole lot better evidence. I feel you. Boy, some people were done wrong. Not only Buford Pusser
Right.
and Pauline, because Pauline is his wife.
Right.
I can imagine somebody doing me like this, how my wife would feel, just as I would about her, if somebody badmouthed my wife.
Mhm.
In fact, I don't care about you badmouthing me.
I do though.
Don't badmouth my wife.
Right.
I would say Pauline's turning over in her grave. These two people's buried together. He never married again. Never dated another woman that we know of.
That we know of. Yeah.
It's rare. It's a rare move, but it's only right that these so-called allegations and slanderous remarks be made public for possible slander suit. I agree. It's only right. They better release the case file and the pictures and anything else they got to try to prove their case. They better hope it does a lot better than what he's done on TV or what we've seen on video, because we're not seeing it. Not seeing it in the autopsy, not seeing it in the ballistics report,
Mhm.
not seeing it by his own statement. Inconclusive, but same same weapon. No, may not even be the same weapon. Maybe the same caliber.
Caliber. Mhm.
We don't know what weapon it was shot from, a 30 cal. Qualified immunity can say anything they want. Qualified immunity for police officers and
That's
people, public officials, that when they're in law enforcement and they think they can say anything or do anything they want, unless they're negligent, unless they're malicious, reckless, intentionally
Mhm.
to defame somebody.
Mhm.
Is there movie rights on the line? Is there another motivation that is due to the decades of intense public interest in Buford Pussers, particularly in West Tennessee? He says that's the reason they went in this is because there's so much interest in him. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's due to this YouTuber, this bus driver, this book writer, this book author. That's who it's that's who it's about. And I'm sure everybody from the book or movie deals or anything that's to come, you got to go look at these guys. This this is the names that's on the case file now. Again, prove me wrong. Google Mark Davison right now. Google Walking Tall. Google Buford Pusser. Let's see what comes up first. TBI investigates Buford Pusser murdered wife. Mark Davison says this. Mark Davison says that. Mark Davison. Mark Davison. They're more famous now than Buford Pusser ever was. They are more famous than Buford Pusser from feeding off of Buford Pusser's reputation, mostly to some grown men looking for 15 minutes of fame. A lot of interest. Ain't that funny? There's this much interest in Sebastian,
Buford.
Buford Pusser. Go ahead, you're going to say it, and not in
Not in
Sebastian
Sebastian or Summer Wells.
or Summer Wells.
Mhm.
Isn't it funny, guys?
Mhm.
TBI has nothing better to do than defame somebody. If it was true, it'd be one thing. If it was true, it'd still be one thing, but at least they'd prove their case and it's over with. But when you try to prove a case that's not there, that's not provable, a homicide that didn't happen by that person, and you know it's nonsense, and you still got two missing children out here that's supposedly they're probably deceased, and you don't have the gall to go question and interrogate people, the last ones to see them. When you see me shut up like that, I'm getting some knee contact. What about Sebastian, guys? Summer Wells?
Where are those sweet babies?
Where's the people that are responsible for their demise? Where are they at? Where are they at, guys? Do you feel good that you're out here on a 58-year-old case and you've got a 2 and 5-year-old case that you can't solve? You don't even talk to the people. You don't even put the light in their eyes and say, "Hey, here we're going to do this.
We
We're
know
going to
you had, yeah.
let's rule you out or let's
Mhm.
charge you.
Mhm.
Let's rule you out or let's charge you." But wow,
Mhm.
guys, you're not looking good in my eyes. I'll probably not be able to drive through Tennessee ever again. But and again, I don't mean this toward all Tennessee law enforcement no more than Kentucky or anybody else. We
Okay.
got some bad people out there that's people does things for different things in life, whether it's money, whether it's fame and fortune, whether it's
Mhm.
just the fame. But they haven't proven this case, not in my opinion.
If the
But
inconsistency is on anything, it's on their side, not Mr.
well,
Pusser's.
that's a great comment. Yeah, if there's an inconsistency in any story, some narrative, it's on their side from where they're trying to prove a narrative that didn't happen. That's not provable because the evidence isn't there.
Yeah.
Now they've talked around it, they spoke around it, and they've
Yeah.
just like he says about same weapon. It's inconsistent, but it's same weapon. It's not even the same weapon, but look how he says that. Well, same weapon as 6.2 million others. And exactly. Good point, babe. Most people are not buying what you guys are selling. They're not. They're not. I think you're a disgrace. Sorry to say that. I think you're a disgrace to the prosecution in Tennessee and the investigation in Tennessee, both through Sebastian and Summer
Mhm.
and through this. You're trying to prove a case that didn't happen, but you can't prove a case that did happen and arrest the bad guys or girls. Davison says, people say he got his face blowed off. Nobody believes he did that to himself. That's not accurate, Davis says. That's not accurate. People says he didn't blow his own face off. Nobody believes he did that to himself. That's not accurate, Davis says. In other words, people do believe that.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
besides you, Mr. Davison, and probably the TBI guy behind you, who are they? Who else believes this man put a 357 in his mouth and did that to himself because it's
Mhm.
staged? Most people would think really long and hard about putting a gun anywhere near their mouths and pulling the trigger. This is Mr. Davison, but he is a former wrestler, a violent guy. Prior injuries to his face, he added. That's what Davison said. What's his first name? Mark Davison?
Yeah. I don't know. I think
He's a former wrestler. This is a mean, Mr. Buford Pusser was a mean guy. Boys, I'll tell you what, you ain't mean. Uh, you're bad. If you're going to stick a 357 in your mouth and blow your face
no,
off,
just to
uh,
prove no, yeah.
no, I cannot believe that this is an educated man and he's saying that. I can't believe it. It's hard to believe.
Mm.
Where does it end? OMG. I cannot believe this man has a law degree. I can't. I can't. I'm hoping that those people that's in the background behind him there is just there because he asked them to be up there. I'm hoping they don't have not taken no part in this, that their name is going to come up where it's
Mhm.
provable that what they're saying or alleged is going to be provable, that it's just to go along with his narrative. I hope that's not the case because if it
Sad.
is, they've ruined their reputation. And in time, it may not be Sheila and I, but in time, there will be others that have nothing else to do and they will investigate this case or maybe even file a lawsuit. A lawsuit would be the way to go, through depositions and deposing different people and getting down to the nitty gritty, down to the facts, not what you believe or you think or something. What the evidence was. What evidence do you have that this happened? What evidence do you have of this? What's the evidence of that? What's the test of this? And you get down, it's either going to say black and white. In that kind of extreme situation where you've murdered your wife, listen to that. Alleged by you to have murdered his wife, as that has not been proven, nor has it been found guilty. So listen to what Mr. Davison said. He says, by a former wrestler or violent guy prior to injury, with prior injuries to his face, in that kind of extreme situation where you've murdered your wife. He doesn't say where you've allegedly murdered your wife. Buford allegedly murdered his wife because as of right now, Buford Pusser is innocent. He's never been proven guilty of anything. He's innocent. Where's allegedly at? He's telling you guys for a fact that Buford Pusser murdered his wife, and that's why he shot himself in the face. In that kind of extreme situation where you've murdered your wife. How about allegedly murdered? If some family members don't follow this through with some good attorneys, please somebody in the attorney field that wants them a good case, contact that granddaughter. This wouldn't be covered under TBI or prosecution. I don't believe. I think this is pure malicious slander, libel. I just think it is. It's my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. You've got to get to work covering it up, and frankly, it worked. There you go again. He says that in this extreme situation where you've just murdered your wife, you've got to get to work covering it up, and frankly, it worked. So 58 years ago, Buford Pusser fooled the TBI. He fooled all the people in the TBI. There's a letter here in a minute we're going to get to from the FBI. He fooled the FBI. He fooled everybody until 58 years later, and here comes along Mr. Davison and Rouse with the TBI. Lo and behold, anybody needs a case solved out there, call these two because they can solve it for you. I feel you. And I'm sorry. I love my wife. I'd been proven pretty.
Darn.
That's Buford Pusser. He told somebody, I loved my wife. I'd been pretty blank stupid to blow my own jaw off. He said in 1969. Don't we believe that? Don't we believe he'd been pretty stupid? I do. But not only stupid, he'd be pretty dead, just like Sheila says.
Yeah.
And this guy says he put the gun in his mouth, put a 357 in your mouth, and see what happens. Agreed. Buried beside her today. Never remarried, never dated another woman that we know of. Buried beside of his wife today. You're going to kill your wife, and then you're going to 7 years later, you got plenty of time to change plans, change burial plots. You got plenty of time to get a girlfriend. And you guys are brutal. We'll say that. You guys that's on that stage there, those two that talked, you're brutal. You're brutal. I only hope nobody ever does it to you, what you done to this man. I only hope when you guys are deceased that nobody comes up and makes one of the most outlandish allegations against either one of you, that you all did some of the most ungodly things to somebody, or and you're not there to stand up and prove yourself. And it could happen. Weird things happen in it. This is a crazy world we're living in now. And things happen. Just like this. This is so crazy. I would have never believed that a TBI command staff official would stand there and say that. I would never believe that a prosecutor would stand there and slander somebody like this straight up with no evidence. Are you serious? Those are mostly commonly associated with domestic violence. He's talking about the nose broke.
Yeah.
He's talking, Mr. Davison says, everything through here says Mr. Davison. Mr. Davidson said the broke nose that
Yeah.
had healed is mostly associated with domestic violence. What percentage? What percentage of broke noses is related to domestic violence?
I'll look it
You
up.
can look that up. What percentage of broken noses is related to domestic violence? I don't care if it's 99.9%. We've got that 0.1% that may have fell off a swing, may have went down a slide, may have hit the monkey bars, may have when they were in school. What a comment to make. I cannot believe this. Are you serious? Because something is common, let's assume he killed his wife. What about the allegation that Pauline's first husband, Pete, beat her? And that's why she left him, divorced, and ended up in Chicago. She ran to Chicago to get away from him. We don't know that he did. That's allegation. That's alleged. That's somebody's opinion.
Okay, it says here in a domestic violence cases involving facial fractures, broken noses are the most common type of fracture, occurring in 30%
Is that all?
to over 40% in such injuries.
30%, guys, of domestic violence where a woman receives a facial fracture, either nose or jaw or whatever. 30%, not even. I actually thought it was going to be 80%. I actually thought it was going to be higher.
Really?
I did, because he's commented on it so much that you would naturally think, well, it must be a wow, 30%. That means 70% of the husbands don't do that. Guys, it's an hour and 3 minutes. We've gone. Looks like we're going to have a number 6. This is number 5 because we want to go over the autopsy. We're almost there. I'm at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, number 5 was supposed to.
But the autopsy is probably going to. But the autopsy is probably going to take 30 minutes in itself.
Okay.
But you're going to like it. If you like the way Sheila and I investigate, you're going to like the autopsy.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us. Sheila, you're up.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We hope you're doing well. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye. God bless.